Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Medium by Design. So today's message is from three different beings and people, and it was in reference to a slight, what I perceived as a setback since the surgery. This is just over my third month post-surgery for a mitral valve replacement, which was a full open heart surgery. I did code the night before the surgery. I did leave my body. I was ready to die. And one of my good friends was in the room when it happened, and it was so shocking to her that she didn't want to witness me die, so she blocked the whole thing out. So I thought she was a witness, and she said, yeah, I heard the code, and I heard a few things, and that was it. She saw 8 people jump into the room, run into the room, and it was a big drama, just like a TV show. So, and then I went on my little trip and got to leave my body. So, I don't remember if I said this in another video, but I was actually forced to come back. It wasn't just, you can't, you're not finished with your work or whatever, you need to come back. I was kind of forced to come back. And ever since then, ever since the surgery, I've had very mixed emotions about my spiritual work, the channeling that I do. And for those that don't know me, I've been a channeling medium astrologer for over 30 years. I was drawn into this lifestyle. I'll call it a lifestyle because it's definitely a commitment and a lifestyle. I was drawn into it from my dear friend Ginny, which you can see she just passed, and there's a recent message from her. She was my first mentor, spiritual mentor, and she got me on this spiritual path. And without her, I'd probably be dead, quite frankly, because at the same time I met her and I started my spiritual journey, I was exploring things in the gay community, which was pretty wild in the 80s. And, I just feel I'm lucky to be here. And some of my friends that also were out and about during that time are still alive today. But many of the people we knew then are gone. And that was a different crisis, a different time when we had the AIDS crisis. So I've lived through a lot, to put it mildly. And this message today is trying to help me understand when I had this setback, it started with my vision going double. And they don't tell you about strange vision things after open heart surgery. So I had no reference, no context, no nothing. And I'm driving, I have to pull over. And at the same time, the car did this weird thing. One of the lights came on, one of the oil pressure light came on, which it's never done before. And then in 2 minutes, the vision was perfect and the car's light was off. No explanation, no insight, just, okay, let's continue on this day trip. Then from there, I realized I was actually sick with a summer virus, and I was home in bed for 4 days with a fever and seriously sweating. So now that experience had me very nervous. So I called the cardiologist. Listen, I've got a little virus. Is this going to hurt my valve? Is this going to affect my heart? No, everything's fine. People do get sick after surgery. You'll be fine. Well, nobody tells you, and I don't know if this is normal, but my heart had a reaction to the virus. And it got offbeat, out of rhythm. It was going too fast, and the blood pressure was elevated. Now, I was on blood pressure medication, so I kind of panicked and got into a real anxiety wave during this thing. It was a Friday night. So anyway, it all passed that weekend. I took it easy, and then I went in for echocardiogram. I think that's what it's called. And we just checked the heart, and it was fine. Everything was fine. But I didn't understand why, this whole physical thing, and many people go through these things, and you just have to surrender to this whole process. Like, what do? The body is doing something on its own. You're forced into surgery in order to live, which you'll see that in upcoming messages, that this was all a divine intervention because I really was not allowed to leave. And it's just, then I wonder, okay, well, what are we here for, right? Because this started in 2022 with the Dark Night of the Soul, which I have videos of that, and Who Visited Me Then. And they've been trying to reach me and get me to get re-inspired and motivated and just feel great about my life. But for some reason, I'm going through a long period where I just don't feel right. I don't feel like me. Now, if you are one that studies the ascension symptoms and the ascension waves and maybe the solar flare energies, how they affect humans, and the Schumann resonance, there's a lot of information now from multiple sources online talking about all these different energies, the mass consciousness releasing all the negativity and the empaths picking up on that negativity and having to make sure that we shield and release and don't let that affect us. I mean, there's so many different things going on because the amount of energy that's flowing around this planet is too much for our nervous system. And I was told by Jesus that many people would be turning to nervous system medications for nervous system disorders, and that would be very common. And we see this. This is not, I don't need to channel a new message about it. This is just a fact. I'm not speculating. This is what's happening to many people. Maybe not to you, and you can just thank your spirit and your guides for making sure your nervous system stays stable. But many people are not feeling stable, and I'm one of them. So I can't come on here. I'm very authentic and very transparent. When I have something going on, I don't keep it to myself. And that might be a problem for some people, but I can't be a spiritual person and pretend that everything is perfect. It just doesn't feel like that to me. I don't experience my spiritual life and my physical life as always perfect. There are a lot of things that I don't like about this timeline. There's many memories that I have of many other timelines that we had a lot of problems, but we also had a lot of advancements that we don't have today. And that you can listen to some of my older videos where we talk about, the guides talk about how humanity has been manipulated and the DNA has been shut down. And now we're living through the opposite, where the DNA is trying to reawaken. We're trying to reawaken to the power that we once had and all the spiritual gifts we had, telepathy, psychic abilities, messages, channeling. This is not new. Humanity was gifted a long, long time ago. It's just these old souls that came back to remind you of what you're capable of. If you choose. You don't have to choose. You can ignore all this stuff and just pretend it doesn't exist. That's a choice too. But I can't. I can't ignore it. So let me get into this message. I don't want to keep ranting, but it's just been a very unnerving period. And I'm doing my best to stay clear in the mind and nurse my body because it's 3 months out. It's doing much better, but it does do weird things. After that surgery, the body has weird reactions, and then all the medications. I can't even begin to explain the oddity of this experience. So what I did was, after the whole double vision and the virus and all these things that happened this 1 week, I asked for anybody who would like to share with me. So the first one that came in was my Aunt Teresa. She's my godmother, my dad's only sister. And most of these are short and sweet. So she comes in, Aunt Teresa. Salvatore, I'm so sorry you had to go through this, but like your father, it will keep you going longer. My father too had open heart surgery, not the same surgery. He had a bypass. I don't have that issue. And his surgery has kept him alive and healthier. My aunt died suddenly of something with her heart that she did not do any treatment. So she says, I did not have time to even ponder some kind of treatment. It was simply my time. This current setback might have you very worried, but I don't think it'll be as bad as you think. And she's right. This flu-like virus you had absolutely triggered the heart's electrical system and got the valve very irritated. Just hold on and wait for your medical team to call and get you the help you need as easily as possible. You will get through this too. You have to. So she alludes to, I can't leave. I can't go anywhere yet. So then Jesus comes in. And Jesus says, I know you're very discouraged with your current state of health and life circumstances. I also know we keep asking you to hold on. There is more to come for you. I don't know how to lift you up so you know this truth and can re-inspire yourself to know you have much to look forward to. This setback was a surprise, but I will share with you that it is part of the plan. Stay as relaxed as you can, as you are not finished with this healing team. They will continue to help you and you them. Just continue to be yourself and ask for all the assistance available. This too shall pass. Now, I don't remember what stories I told you guys on videos because time is irrelevant to me now. Focusing is not easy. You know, I'm in a whole different reality since this surgery. And so I can't even keep track of the videos that I've done. I know I haven't done much, but I forgot what I told you guys. So I know that in the hospital, there were spiritual experiences. There was spirit intervention. I had to give a nurse a message at 4 o'clock in the morning. Then there were 3 young employees that I did this beautiful little mini class for during the day one day. So I was called to do things with people in the hospital. And I said things while I was on the influence of medication. I don't even remember half of the stuff that I said. But I did get a very positive response that people did feel the love from me while I was in the hospital, and that somehow I left some kind of mark. I don't understand everything, but I did get some feedback from people. Now let's move on to the post-op before I get to the next message here. Post-op, the first person I believe was a nurse practitioner for my surgeon, and I met with her and her sister, who's on the other side, who passed within the year. She came in. So already I'm in post-op for myself to get a checkup, and I have to give this message about her sister because her other living sister is having PTSD from this death. So this sister comes in to alleviate the sisters that are alive, alleviate their pain and their grief and whatever. Well, this woman screwed up her whole day schedule. She was supposed to see me for 15, 20 minutes. She was with me for an hour and 20 minutes. And my parents were still here with me. And we're all in this office having a whole spiritual conversation, experience, and intervention. I didn't plan that. So then she goes and tells other people what happened. She tells the surgeon, she tells the secondary surgeon, and then now all these people know, who I am, what I do. So the next meeting, I meet the surgeon's partner and best friend of 30 years. He comes in, oh, I heard you were a medium. I'd like to talk to you. And then we have a spiritual conversation. Then the following meeting, I see my surgeon, the actual surgeon that worked on me, and he walks in, doesn't skip a beat, and says, I heard you're a medium. What do you have for me? And I gave him a very profound message about his work and what's coming in the next 5 years. So here I am getting through the most difficult medical situation and my body feeling like it's betraying me with this issue, and I still have to be the medium. I can't get time off. So, looking back, it's kind of funny, I still have to be myself. That's why on here I try to let you know how transparent I am. I can't ignore my spiritual life. Even if I'm in a regular, everyday situation that many of you find yourselves in, just know I'm having a different experience there. I'm not having the typical, it's not happening. I could try to stifle it, but, you got to remember, a medium's life, the messages are not for me. When I do messages for myself and I ask for myself, yes, that's mine. But when I'm in a public place or an office or something and information comes through, that's not mine. That's not for me. Spirit's trying to reach these people because they don't meditate, they don't do their thing, they're not receiving, or whatever is happening with them, they're not receiving the message. So that's why there are people like me on the planet. But it would be lovely if people took this work seriously and actually did the work for themselves and let their spirit develop with them and all the connections that they have. Because all of you have some kind of spiritual guides and connections from many dimensions now. We're not even focused on just the dimensions where our family members are, but we have all these other dimensions that different beings are on. So, there's so much to this, and even I have to take a break because my nervous system gets overloaded and I just have to rest. So this surgery, if nothing else, has forced me to rest even more, even though I was resting a lot in 2022, not knowing how bad this heart condition was. So let's get back to the next person. This is the third in this message day that I had, and this one is from Merlin. And you can look Merlin up. Very interesting character in our history, and very wonderful to write from. Really insightful. So he comes in. He says, "I'd like to weigh in on this one. You know, I have watched you off and on and brought you different insights into life circumstances you found yourself, sometimes difficult. This is no different. Although you may find this situation a surprise, there is a solution." Now, this is all in relation to this virus that I had. "All you need to do is follow along and let all be done. We are all around you, watching and supporting you to get through this, because we all know there is more. Although you are tired of hearing that, it is true. Not everyone takes off in life quickly. They have to explore, go down different roads, learn and try different things. Then they hone in on those most important avenues of experience and expression. The human term is late bloomer. We find that funny since we have no time, but you still are so time-locked and feel there is only so much time. I don't mean to make fun of the human experience, but when you return to the timeless, there is a sense of relief." So he's talking about when you cross over, there's no time on the other side, so there's no pressure, like we have all this crazy man-made pressure in this reality that we are living in. So those three were just trying to give me more insight to relax and not worry about this virus, that it was just part of what I had to go through. And I'm sharing it with you because there were some hiccups in the recovery that I got really scared, and I got very anxious and had to deal with some emotions about. So there's more to come, and the inspirational messages are coming through again. I'm back on track, whatever track this is, and I just wanted to share this personal one with you and share that even in recovery there are bumpy roads, and you just have to ride the wave and get through it. And by the way, I might have panicked over that week of virus and what my heart did, but my cardiologist didn't even flinch. In their office, nothing's wrong. This is all normal. So this is my new normal, which is very uncomfortable. But there is definitely more to come, because I've got lots of writings to share with you on the Medium by Design. And thanks for tuning in. Please support this channel, because I don't even know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. Support it, share the messages. There's so much on here from different sources. And if you look at the playlist, you can see those different sources. And share it, like it, subscribe. Do whatever you can to be supportive if you feel anything from these videos. Truthfully, without the connection of people, a YouTube channel can't go anywhere. People have to watch. And it's just the fact of this thing, this phenomena that I decided to follow my spirit guidance to get on. So anyway, there's much more to come. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned, because it's supposedly going to get better and better.